this working?
It is working. You are live.
Okay. I wanted to show you. Made it through day 2. It's after midnight.
And who are you?
I'm Bill. I'm Cheryl's co-founder.
So we made it through day 2 of the Founders Institute, and we pitched for the first time.
Wait, who's talking?
Well,
you're not on camera.
You're not talking. Okay, so okay. Go.
This is day 2. Cheryl's only been here for 2 days, and she's already bossing me around.
He might stab me in my sleep.
No, it was a great day. It's after midnight. We started. We started at. What time did we start?
6:30.
We started. We got there a little after 6, and then as seems to be par for the course, we meet up at the bar afterwards. But it was a great night. It was the first night after yesterday's intro. We were home close to midnight and a little bit drunk, so we didn't post anything yesterday, as you may notice. But we had today. We had the first, I guess, normal day. We'll find out if it's normal. We had 3 presenters talking about vision for your company, setting culture, defining culture, and not meaninglessly, but really a meaningful definition of what the culture of your company should be, and having a consciousness about that. I think it's going to be an ongoing theme that you got to act, you got to do stuff. Matthew Mandel, who's had several companies, all these people have had several companies. To me, the one element of his talk was that if you're doing a tech startup, then you are in the fashion business. So the UI means everything. Yet, at the same time, get shit out there. Get something shitty out there. And that's something that I am trying to get my engineering self to learn. I've been trying to train myself over the past several, weeks at least. And that's going to be a constant struggle for me. Because being an engineer at core and wanting to get things right, it just is not going to fly if you're trying to get a startup off the ground. We had Dan Shapiro also on the heels of starting up his company today, or releasing his company today.
It's called SparkBuy?
Yeah, SparkBuy. Also another one of my ideas that is now being executed by somebody else. So execute. It's another thing that's being pounded into me starting up in this endeavor, this startup endeavor, is it really doesn't matter what your idea is, just do something and act on it and get it moving. And it may start out as a poor idea, but if you work on it, it'll get better. Maybe I'll talk about Startup Weekend and that being really key, because in 2 days you can start with a crappy idea and end up being a moderately good idea at least. Doug Brown gave a perspective from as coming into a company a few years after its beginning, and then really growing it, blasting it out from, what did it start at? Some $80 million company? No.
It started at a $14 million company, I think.
Yeah, and now it's at $80 million. So it gave to me it was a perspective of a medium-sized company and what it takes to kind of like pull together a team of people and making sure that your company is successful under many of the same circumstances as the dire circumstances you'll have as a startup, but being able to continue that on through a larger environment. But in particular, not siloing your organization, not breaking up your organization into silos, because things get dropped through the cracks. So if you have overlapping responsibilities and making sure that everybody's sort of responsible for the success of your company, then they cover each other, and then you don't have single people that have to watch all those cracks. I guess that's the highlights.
Oh, as a side note, Doug Brown's company had taken $200,000 of angel investment and turned that into an $80 million company.
Yeah.
So you can do a lot with a little.
Yeah, I guess we'll find other examples later on about people who started with nothing or nearly nothing and didn't take any funding and built multi-tens of $1 million companies out of that. So stay tuned. We'll report things we learn and take out of this and as we move along. Thanks for watching.